Hey everyone, welcome to Comics with Bueller. This is another creator interview, and I have Mark Russell with me today. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Travis. Thank you.
Awesome. And I like to jump right into it. So we're here because for Firefly, and Firefly is kind of a big deal. I'm a fan of Firefly. I know a lot of people are fans of Firefly. I'm assuming that you, my friend, are also a fan of Firefly. What led you to this project?
Well, as you say, I'm a huge fan of Firefly, and when it was offered to me out of the blue, I immediately jumped at it because it's rare I get to actually write a series about a property that I'm already a huge fan of. So,
Yeah,
and it also it gave me an excuse to rewatch the entire series again as research. So, but I've always kind of lamented, I think, as most fans did, the fact that it ended so soon. So I
yeah.
felt like, whereas most series kind of get beaten to death, as
Hmm.
David Mamet once said, that writing a play is like running a marathon, and that writing a TV show is like running until you die.
Yeah.
Most TV shows get kind of, you know, run into the ground and are no longer good, or they've exhausted all the creative possibilities by the time it gets taken off the air.
Hmm.
Firefly is kind of the opposite.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just opening up the creative possibilities, and I felt like there was so much more. It was begging the question on so many stories, and what was going to happen with the characters, that I felt like this was a great opportunity to do some of the things I kind of wondered was if they were going to happen in the course of the show.
Yeah. So when you rewatch the series, did you watch it in the right order? Because I remember when it came out, it was never in the right order.
Yeah,
It's sort of messed
Yeah,
up.
they did so many frustrating things wrong with that series. I think it was because it came in at the tail end of the era when you tuned into network TV for good television.
Yeah.
It was right when, network TV had pretty much given up on quality TV, and all if you wanted to watch a really good sort of auteur-driven show, you had to go to HBO or to FX or something.
Yeah.
And Firefly was right at that cusp, and it had the misfortune of being like an HBO show that was on network TV, kind of. It
Yeah.
was like an HBO quality show. So yes, I went back and rewatched it in the intended order, the correct order in which and it's so much better that way.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed when I rewatch it, it's one of the only shows I actually listen to the intro music for it and just the song that they play. I like
Yeah,
that quite a bit. It's really catchy. And so every episode I watch again, I'll just let it run so I can hear the intro music to everything.
yeah, it's a good opening song.
It's great. It's great. So I'm curious. So where does this timeline take place on your end?
It starts at the end of the series, literally like weeks after the TV series ends,
Okay.
and but obviously well before the movie Serenity.
Yeah. Well, that's good because we lost some characters in
Yeah,
Serenity.
no, everyone's got their fingers and toes in
Yeah.
this series.
So everybody's there. All the
Yeah,
favorite characters are there. So when they approach you on this, is this something that you've been like, oh man, I hope somebody picks up the license to Firefly someday again, and I get. I mean,
I
was your
hadn't really thought about it. I had read some of the Firefly comics before, but I knew that it wasn't like a regular thing, and it never occurred to me that they were going to be doing more Firefly comics. They always kind of struck me as like a sort of a uh, like a stunt sort of special
yeah
limited series type thing. So when they did approach me, I was very surprised, not only to be offered, but also just to find out that this was a thing, that they were going to be making Firefly comics.
yeah
But obviously it was a golden chance. And once I went them, I mean, I didn't have to think about it. Once they offered, I just jumped in the pond.
yeah. So I'm curious, like here you got this new property that you can play with again. That you're a big fan. Can you introduce like different lore to it? I mean, what's your freedom look like as far as when you're writing the story? Because like you said, the storyline takes place right after the series. Then
Yeah.
we all know about the movie, which we lose a bunch of characters. So you have a window where you can put this in there. Do you have some leeway what you can do? Introduce things.
Yeah, absolutely. I introduced a few characters of my own, but I also really wanted to like use the a lot of the side characters, especially the villains that they create in the
Mhm.
series that didn't die during the series. A lot of them
Yeah.
come back in this one, and so it's sort of an amalgam of both. I wanted to like bring back some of the characters I don't feel like got enough screen time in the original series, but also kind of make it. And I think that's what you do whenever you write a series that's not yours, is that you make it sort of a marriage between what the original that you're basing on is in your own sort of vision. So I introduce a lot of my own characters and do a lot of my own spin on it. But I think one of the unique things about comics as a format, especially when you're adapting something from a movie or a TV show, is that you get much more of the characters' internal thoughts, because you can have
Mhm.
captions and narration and whatnot. And I like that as a storytelling device. I like treating it kind of like a TV show slash novel, where it's like you not only get the action and the story of the plot, but you also get like the rumination and the narration of what somebody's going through as they're going through it. And I think it's so cool to like get into the heads of these characters and use that device.
Yeah. So I know you know this as well. A lot of the Firefly casts are on the Comic Con circuits. They have been for years. Have you had a chance to meet some of the cast members over the years during your cons?
No, but coming up, I'm going to the convention in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in January, and apparently they're going to be there. So I've spoken to the guy running it. They're like, oh, please try to put together some sort of event or some
Yeah,
sort of meetup. I would love that.
that would be really cool because you get to go to. Oh yeah, by the way, because they're all, from what I've heard them talk about the show, they all love the show, and
Yeah,
they all. As far as what I've also heard is that they're trying to make an animated series.
that's
Like,
true. I think it's one of the reasons why they're hitting the
yeah,
circuit kind of hard right now, is because they're mostly promoting the animated series. But I think that the comic will be worthwhile, and I think it will. I think they'll be happy with that too.
that's really cool. I mean, when is the Albuquerque Comic Con?
January.
January. Okay. Well, that's pretty good because the book will be out by then. I think
Yeah,
the book
we'll be a few issues into it. Issue one drops first week of September. I
okay.
think September 2nd, and
Yep.
then so we'll be like 3 issues in by the time.
So
Yeah,
you'll be able to have those in your hand and go up to
yeah,
Nathan Fillion and go, by the way, I'm writing the comic book for this as well. So that's your in. That's your in.
yeah.
So that's really cool. So something about the Firefly I've noticed, and it's really interesting. There's so many fans for this, and there's no gender gap. I've noticed, like, women love this show, men love the show. I told my girlfriend, I was like, "Yeah, I'm interviewing the guy who's writing the Firefly comic." She was like, "Are you serious? Firefly comic?" She's a huge fan, and so you're going to get a lot of attention here from both sides from the women and
Well,
men here at these
well,
comic
that's a
cons.
great observation, and I found that too, where it's like it's one of the few sort of pop culture phenomenons where it's like you can't really pinpoint a demographic, which is what
Yeah,
I like. I don't like feeling like, well, I'm writing this for teens, or I'm writing this for people my age, or I'm writing this for men or women. I like to feel like I'm writing this for anybody who just likes a good story,
yeah,
and I feel like that's kind of Firefly's appeal. It's like it's not, there's not, you can't really pinpoint who it's made for.
exactly.
And when you're not doing that, you get to just focus on, well, I'm just going to make something good.
Yeah. I like it because it's like the TV show. I mean, all the characters, men or women, are really strong characters. I mean, they all had a backbone to them. They all have their own story arc. They all have their own personality. And just from top to bottom, it kind of ran the gamut of just like really strong characters on screen. So I'm looking forward to seeing that same thing in the books as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the big challenges, and also one of the big joys of writing this, is that the characters are already so well defined. They all have very unique voices. Like Kaylee speaks very differently than Inara, who speaks very differently, than River, obviously,
Yeah.
and having to sort of master the pattern and the tonality is like it's you have to pay a lot of attention to how you're writing for these individual characters who already have established voices. But also it just makes the storytelling much richer, because a lot of it is just like thinking, well, how would Simon approach this problem, or
Yeah.
what would Mal think about this?
That's really cool. So we're going to come back to Firefly here in a minute, but I want to kind of take a little detour because you're actually issue 11 of the Twilight Zone. If I'm not mistaken, you're writing that as well, and that's also
Yep.
one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
no,
of all time.
two of my favorite TV shows of all time, and I've got my hands on both of them.
Nice. So what's the Twilight Zone? What's the story premise for that one?
It's about an alien invasion, but an alien invasion that is unlike alien invasions that we've experienced before in fiction. because it's an invasion by plants.
Oh, okay. So it's not like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or nothing like that.
No, no, well, I hope not. But I mean, nothing wrong with that. But no, I try to go at a much more serious tack. But there are some twists, as you would imagine, with a Twilight Zone story. So
Oh yeah.
I won't spoil it too much.
So do you have a couple favorite episodes of Twilight Zone?
Yeah, well, the first Twilight Zone episode I ever watched and did not sleep after that because I was 10 years old, I think, and they used to show them at night on PBS when I was a kid. But I watched To Serve Man. It was like my first exposure to Twilight Zone, and I was horrified. I was not prepared for what I was getting into.
Yeah.
And the next day, my first thought was, "Well, I gotta watch another one. I gotta get more into this." Um, but yeah, that was like my first and still one of my very favorite episodes.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of Twilight Zone. I just remember watching it, and I can appreciate it now more as an adult because these shows came out so long ago, and they're all somewhat original ideas. And it's really hard to have an original idea these days, but back then, these are all original, things coming to the screen and putting them together. My favorite episode, I have a couple of them. There's one where the sun never came up,
Oh,
and
right.
there was a guy who was supposed to be hanged that day, and it was all about hate. And it just like all of a sudden, all throughout the world, the sun doesn't come up and everything's dark, and it just kind of reflects how much people have hate in their heart. And it's like, oh my, it was really deep. I didn't understand it when I watched it as a kid,
Yeah.
but as I watched it as an adult, I was like, okay, I get what they're trying to say.
A lot of them really worked well as like metaphors and social commentary without like
Yeah.
being heavy-handed or trying too hard to work on that level.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to doing something like Twilight Zone is it first and foremost has to work on the level of story. It
Yes.
has to have like a convincing twist. And then if it's a metaphor for something or if it's like a reference to a broader sort of social problem or human condition, that's something you want people to get later.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, it's like that's kind of what all good science fiction does. It hooks you in
Yeah.
with a really great story that you enjoy, regardless of whether or not you ever get the higher meaning.
Yeah. Well, now you're working on both FireFly and you have the Twilight Zone issue 11. So those are two licensed properties coming to the market. So is there another licensed property that you would like to see someone pick up for you to jump on board and do it?
You know, the one, this is going to sound weird, but the one I've always kind of been itching to do, I've always wanted to do like a Scrooge McDuck comic.
Okay. Well, I think Dynamite might have their hands in that.
They might. I should talk to them. I know Jason Aaron did a Scrooge McDuck comic recently, and I was so jealous.
Yeah.
I didn't realize again that this was a thing that you could actually do a Scrooge McDuck comic, and then sure enough, he comes out with one. So
Yeah.
maybe I can jump on that bus.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I was a big fan of the Outer Limits. I liked stuff like that and Dark Shadows back in the day. All those.
Yeah, Outer Limits is a great show too. I watched all those original Outer Limits episodes, but yeah, it was definitely my jam. That sort of short story science fiction.
Yeah, I did see that Dynamite picked up the X-Files license.
Yep. Yeah, I was on a panel in San Diego Comic-Con with Joe Harris.
Oh, nice.
Talking about that, and it sounds like it's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Well, let's go ahead and get back to FireFly. So this is going to come out in September. Is this an ongoing series? Is this just a special? Give me a little bit more details.
Well, we're planning for 15 issues, so 3 arcs of 5 issues each, and then from there, who knows? We'll see if anybody wants these 15, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I think so, man. I don't think anyone can get enough FireFly here. I mean, here's a show that has only had 10 or 11 episodes.
Yeah,
Grew a huge fan base just from those, and just it's only gotten bigger as time has gone on.
I've written the first 9 scripts already, and I feel like I'm just getting started. I feel like I could easily do like a lot more.
You're having fun with this, aren't you?
It's great. It's one of my favorite things to work on. Like if I don't have anything else going on during the day, it's like, well, I'm so far ahead, but I don't care. I'll crank out some more pages on FireFly.
Nice, really cool. Well, Mark, that's really what I wanted to cover. Do you have anything coming up that's as far as cons or anything like that people can find you?
I'll be doing LA Comic-Con in October and Pacific Nerd West up in Bellingham, Washington, on August 28th.
Okay. Are you doing Rose City Comic Con?
No, not this year.
Okay. All right. Well,
I like to give people a year off because that's my home con, so I don't like to burn that out.
Yeah. Right on. All right, Mark, thank you so much for your time. Everyone, go pick up Firefly. I know you guys are fans. We're fans. Mark's a fan. I'm a fan. And it's going to be on the shelves. And don't forget to get Twilight Zone as well, because come on, Twilight Zone is awesome. So, Mark, appreciate your time. And for everyone watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.